meeting of the Board of Education. Please stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. McCormick, please call the roll.
Trustee Red. Here. Trustee Turnquist.
Here.
Trustee Mitchell.
Here.
Trustee Patterson.
Present.
Trustee McOwen.
Present.
Trustee Saunders. Trustee White.
Present.
Trustee Crump.
Present.
Trustee Miller.
Present.
A quorum is present.
Do we have any communications from the public?
We do. Good evening, everybody. The Mount Vernon Board of Education recognizes the critical importance of community discourse and involvement in the education of Mount Vernon's children, and accordingly, members of the public are invited to speak at each regularly scheduled board meeting, subject to the terms of the board policy. Speakers must register in advance by no later than 4 p.m. on the date of the meeting by contacting the district clerk in person at 165 North Columbus Avenue, by phone at 914-665-5235, or via email at rmccormick@mtvernoncsd.org. The board welcomes all respectful comment, whether praise or criticism. However, identifying and criticizing a specific student, parent, teacher, administrator, or other Mount Vernon education official or employee is strictly prohibited. Such complaints must be presented and addressed through the proper administrative channels. Each speaker will be allotted 3 minutes to speak, with up to an additional minute to be used for the speaker to summarize and conclude their remarks. If appropriate, board trustees and/or the superintendent may respond to a speaker's remarks at the conclusion of the public comment portion of the meeting. Our first speaker this evening is Pat Peterson.
Good evening, Dr. Hamilton, Board of Trustees, membership. How's everyone this evening? I come to say thank you to the negotiating team as well as the board negotiating team for ratifying this MOA that we have, but we do have a few people that's discontent with this MOA. The MOA was done legally, and it was done in a manner that it was observed by CSEA, Labor Relationship Specialist, who was right there to conduct and oversee all the administrative policies were met and all the rules and regulations was followed that pertains to CSEA. The discord comes within the union of certain members who feel that this was a rushed MOA, and it was to a certain extent based off the time constraints. Everything was based off of time, but the MOA was still given out, and it was given in a manner that you could read it and comprehend it within, I would say, a day or less. And it was just basically a few items. This was not a contract negotiation. As we explained to the membership, this was a bonus. And based off of this, we said 40% of the people would take a step out of the 234 members. So the rest of the members wouldn't have any type of increase at all. And this would have been our third year straight without an increase. We were turned down a couple of weeks ago. My treasurer, Ms. Haiti, went back and did some numbers, represented it to Dr. Hamilton. Dr. Hamilton was nice enough to reconsider, and this is how we got this far. Now, to my membership, I'll tell y'all, this is one of the best things that's going to happen within this pandemic. To the board and the trustees, I would like to say thank you. And back to the board, all of this is pertaining so we can work in a better atmosphere and environment. We want a relationship that we can talk to each other and, communicate with each other and have an understanding and do fair bargaining and help the union as the union helps the school system. And on that note, I would like to say thank you and have a good evening.
Our next speaker is Stephanie Kinlaw.
Very difficult to speak with you. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Dr. Hamilton, board members. I am one of the newest members to the district in terms of employees, but I'm not new to the community. I worked for the city of Mount Vernon for 30 years. I was a union representative there. I am trained and certified in civil service law. So my knowledge for them came in handy. When they asked me, I gladly stepped up. I just made 1 year here, so to step up to work for my members was not even a second thought. Thank you to Dr. Hamilton, to the negotiating team. Working with them was not a difficult situation. We worked well with each other. We did what we thought was in the best interest of all. My thought is, what we do to one, we do to all. So I cannot be selfish when I stand up and I represent a body. I don't represent myself, I represent a body when I'm negotiating. So I just want to thank you. This was not an easy process. I know that some people aren't happy. There was nothing personal about what we did because we did to benefit. And again, Dr. Hamilton was gracious enough to relook at what we said. We said, please reconsider. We don't want to tell the members no again. And he did. And it's to benefit them all, as well as to work with the district. This isn't a one-sided deal. There's give and take in negotiations, and that's what we did. There were some things that were to benefit the district, as well as there were things that benefit the members. That's what negotiation is about. Yes, some are unhappy, and I'm sorry that they are. But this isn't about me, it's not about them, it's about all of us. It's how we work together, it's how we build our relationships, it's how we make this community as Board of Ed, City of Mount Vernon, work together. This should never be a personal issue. This should be about community. The community as the district, the community as CSEA members, the community as City of Mount Vernon. Because as a worker here, when I work, it benefits the children, it benefits the teachers, it benefits the administration. When I work to the maximum capacity and I give my all and I give my best, that's how I approach this situation. So again, thank you. Thank you for the time, because this is not a paid thing. We volunteer our time. We leave our families to sit down, to negotiate with each other, to sit and have meetings, to bring stuff back and forth to each other. And we don't want to present just anything to our members. We want to know we bring something solid, and that's what we did. Thank you again.
Our next speaker is Jessica Gulotta.
Good evening, everyone. Mr. Hamilton, trustees. I am a senior typist with the district. I am here tonight to speak about the memorandum of agreement from the CSEA. The members received a notice of meeting on the evening of Wednesday, July 8th, advising of a meeting which was to be held on Friday, July 10th at 6 p.m. The meeting notice did not have an agenda. During the July 10th meeting, the MOA was presented for the first time, and we were told that we had to vote on it the following day, Saturday, July 11th, between 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. at the Board of Ed parking lot. With less than 24 hours to familiarize ourselves with the MOA, we were expected to cast our ballots. Furthermore, it is my understanding that the Union Negotiation Committee was not authorized by the Union Executive Board. Therefore, I am respectfully requesting that this tab be pulled tonight, as the entire negotiation process should be redone with a properly authorized negotiation committee. And based on what Ms. Kinlaw said, yes, it is never personal. I enjoy coming to work every day. I enjoy the faces I see and everyone I work with. I'm blessed to work in one of the best departments in this district. It's only based on business and what I feel will be best for our members. Thank you for your time tonight.
Our next speaker is Clarissa Key.
I'm going to pass, thank you, because this would be redundant and I don't want to do that. Thank you.
Pamela Atunez. James Smith.
All
right, we got it.
Thank you.
Right up to the podium, James.
How you doing? My name is James Smith. I'd just like to say that I think that we're not happy because, for one, I didn't know about anything that was going on. And for what I heard, the agreement that everybody done, it was unfair. because I didn't know, half of my staff at the school, they didn't know what was presented to us. And you give us one day, that's not fair at all. So I wish you just look ahead and see what we're feeling, because we felt that was unfair, and give us time. And union reps can talk to us. That's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Jamila Jones.
Good evening, Dr. Hamilton. Everyone. I'm very upset and hurt. One, we was informed of a meeting on a Friday. We was told that we was voting on a bonus. Not that, I'm a parent, not that our hours are gonna be changed from a 10 to 7. They're removing second shift from a 10 to 7 for a 12 to 9. There are no daycares in the city of Mount Vernon. One, but it's closed down due to a pandemic. I'm not gonna see my child. I have a child in kindergarten and a child in 10th grade. Who's gonna raise my kids? The streets? Zoom? Like FaceTime? That's not fair to us. There's no childcare available. And if there is, you have to pay a night differential. So I'm very hurt behind this. And on top of that, we had to take time. Why did we have to vote on a Saturday? Why didn't we have enough notice to do this? We was told that there was a Zoom meeting on Friday. We didn't get the register for the Zoom meeting till after 2 p.m. So you have people, older people that's in the district, they don't have Zoom. They are unaware. They don't have technology like we do. So everybody's not tech savvy. So a lot of people wasn't able to attend the Zoom meeting. And on top of that, the meeting was over at 8. We had to vote by 10 a.m. from 10 to 7. That's less than 24 hours. It wasn't enough time. Please, if they would have communicated with us better, communicated all of this to us a little bit better, we would have understood it a little bit better. But you told us it was a bonus, not our hours changing, not our payday changing, not a lot of changes besides a bonus. It was a whole lot more than a bonus. Thank you.
Abby Nash Heinz.
Thank you, John. Because John.
Mark
John.
Mark Stuckey.
Before I start, I'd just like to ask the president, can we take 30 seconds to honor those who was at the front line for this pandemic? If it's okay, just 30 seconds.
Sure.
Thank you. You have heard people come up to speak about the CSCA contract negotiation. You heard good, you heard complaints. I'm here this evening to ask this board to table this vote that you're going to take, or the discussion that you're going to have tonight for a later time. Because the way it was set up, the way I was given it, and the way you heard, you had employees who was giving information at the last moment to come out to vote on something at the last moment. And it's not fair. You're asking for the employees to work with the district to put something together to help everybody. The children, the staff, themselves. To jump in to wind up doing the negotiation at this present time, or to put something on the table for them, I feel that it's not right. That's my opinion. But look into your hearts as well. Was it done correctly? On the opposite side of one door, we don't see what took place. But if the door is open, as we heard, what was taking place, it wasn't done right. I'm asking the board to extend the time for these employees to come back to wind up negotiating, to understand their contract. Extend it out to September, October. Give it time. Don't rush into it. You want something, they want something. They know that they're gonna have to give up something in the long run. But extend the time so it doesn't hurt them and they can move forward with doing what they must do to help not only the children, but staff as well. Please, do not vote on this if you're going to do a vote. Do not wind up doing anything, I would have to say, reckless at this point. They're not asking for much. They're just asking for time. Now, I understand that there's $193,000 or $194,000 that's been sitting from 2019, 18-19 year. Unfortunately, Mr. What's his name, Silver's not here to answer that question. But look into that. Look into that dollar figure and find out what that dollar is all about. If you want, I can give it to you so you can see it a little bit clearer. So please, think about what's taking place tonight. Don't let nobody get hurt. We are at hard times, and you have a difficult project, difficult task right now to try to put something together for September. And I know it's hard, and it's going to be difficult. But without the CSEA, buildings ain't gonna run. Without them, everybody lose. So think about what's taking place, please. Think not with your heart, but what's right. Thank you.
Katie to Jesus.
I am a CSEA member and the treasurer of the executive board. And I'll tell you that throughout the whole process, we have constantly been in contact with our local, because the 3 board members that are left, because one is suspended and has been suspended since June, did not know the procedures for doing an MOA, getting it ratified, having a meeting. So in the entire process, we were in touch with our local to find out what the procedures were, as well as with the regional president. So we did everything that we were directed to do. We were told we were able to have an emergency meeting because we were on the ground. Our constitution doesn't say that we can't. Some constitutions give direction that you have to give your members 3 or 4 days notice. Ours does not. And the reason being, as I was explained from our local, is that we're on the ground, we know what's happening, we know what's needed, so they give us the leeway to do that. We did notify the membership the day of the meeting. We posted an agenda for the meeting when we presented the MOA at night. We followed the agenda, we presented the MOA. After the MOA, we had a Q&A session, which people asked questions. The next day, we told them we had to vote the next day because time was of the essence, being that the fiscal year had ended, and this needed to be enacted immediately if we were going to accept it. If we weren't going to accept it, then it would not be an issue. So on Saturday, we had 10 to 7, so that hopefully that was a long enough time that people could come out, and it was gonna be a drive-by meeting. To vote. So you drive by, we come to the car, have you sign in, cast your vote, you fold it up, put it in the box, and you can be on your way. So it took as least time as possible. We didn't try to influence anyone to vote yes or no. However, we gave our opinion on it. We were negotiating on this for a year with the district. We've been doing this since last year. The pandemic occurred. The district, we were at the point of maybe an agreement. The district decided that they were not going to make a decision because they had a new board. They wanted to update the new board on this before voting on it. So they told us they wanted us to wait. It was kind of really disappointing because we had been telling our members, we're gonna have a meeting soon and we're gonna have information for you. We're not gonna have a meeting again saying that we're working on something. So in doing that, we, of course, took a few days to absorb that, decided we were gonna reach out to the district again and ask them to please reconsider and why. And thankfully, our message didn't fall on deaf ears and we all came back to the table. At that point, we were at the end of the fiscal year, so time became, critical. So that was the emergency meeting and everything that transpired. Now, I understand some members are dissatisfied. Some of them just don't understand the county, no matter how many times you explain it. Not that it's a bad thing, it's just some people, it's just not their forte. I get it. And some people are just dissatisfied, period. It's not anything that they wanted, so they're just not happy. However, 125 members showed up on Saturday. 71 voted yes and 54 voted no. I think it's really clear that it was fair. That's fair. It's not by one vote did it pass. It voted, 17 people wanted it more than the opposed people. So in saying all of this, my membership's complaints throughout the year is always that we're last. We're treated like second-class, employees. We never get anything. This time we're getting something, and we're getting it first. And it's still a huge problem. And at this point, our members are not showing that we're union strong, trying to come to this forum to still oppose something that was voted on by our membership. They're really not respecting the rest of their members in that they voted yes. I don't understand how they can truly believe they're doing the right thing by doing this. It's the majority rule. And again, we have some problems internally, which our local sent the letter to the district today, letting them know that they're aware of it and that we're gonna handle it internally. So please disregard any other notices that will be sent to them because, again, they're trying any means necessary to try to stall this MOA for some reason. And again, our MOA benefits all of us. If we did nothing, our current canceled, expired contract, yes, we would get a step, but 55% of our membership is at the top step. They would get nothing for another year, which would be the third year. Only 45% of our membership would have gotten a step. With this bonus that we're getting and the other items on it, everybody's getting something. We're getting to roll over our vacation, which we're not allowed to do, which none of us used because of the pandemic. We were all in quarantine, staying home. And then, we're getting this bonus that is based on your salary and your tenure. So everybody's getting the same percentage based on your salary. So everybody's getting something.
Okay.
So thank you. I'm sorry.
That's
One
okay.
more time.
Thank you for your comment. Oh, we have one more speaker. Is that Clarissa Key? You have 3 minutes. Thank you.
Good evening, and thank you for hearing me. I felt that I would have been redundant initially. However, just hearing the number of our executive board from the CSEA come up and speak as though everything was given to us so peacefully and explained so explicitly where everyone understood, and then to hear that possibly people who don't do payroll won't understand. There was a chart given to us. Clearly with the receiving payroll twice a month would not be a great decision for most of the CSEA workers, due to the fact that you will be receiving more taxes coming out of your pay. You get a little higher amount, but just more taxes coming out. If you don't get a lot of money back from when you do your taxes, you're losing altogether. So there's no benefit in that. As well, that meeting, and not to put our business out to the board, but our meeting was so disruptive, unprofessional, and on a personal level that it was unreal. Unreal. People who didn't want to hear what someone was stating when it was during the question and answer session was muted. So therefore, we couldn't even ask questions because what was presented to us was on a personal, oh, this sounds great, we should take it, the money is here, take it. Yes, in the pandemic, everyone wants an extra dollar. Who doesn't? But you have to look at further than that dollar, because it's gonna come and it's gonna go. So it was not explained the way it's being stated here to you tonight. So I felt the need to come up and speak, because I wouldn't feel comfortable going home as a CSEA member who pays dues, and I'm feeling like, what am I paying dues for? Because we haven't had a meeting since September. Every time we ask, when is there a meeting? No one knows. We're not getting any emails, nothing saying soon, soon, soon. It's nothing but sarcasm that is given to us, no notification. And as far as our vice president, it was stated to you today that he's suspended. In our meeting, I asked, when did this take place? We didn't get any information. We have no knowledge. So he was shunned in the meeting. He wasn't able to speak his mind as a member. Even if you said he's suspended, he was supposed to be able to speak. He wasn't able to speak, but the unit, the executive board, was able to give their personal opinions on what they felt. That's not okay. So I just wanted to say that. So we're really asking that this be postponed and tabled to a later date, because this was not fair. And also, I've never ever, in all of my years here, in any voting that I've heard of, you have to come and vote on a Saturday. It should have been a work day where all of our members are here and have an option to come and vote. On a Saturday, you telling us less than 24 hours is not even fair. Even if we had 3 days, Saturday is not an option. We work Monday through Friday. That's when the voting should have taken place. Not on a Saturday. Who are you to tell us to come on a Saturday to vote? Oh, this was the comment. If you're getting your nails done, stop by. If you're grocery shopping, stop by. You have time to stop by. That's not okay. That's not okay to tell a member that. Ample enough time is supposed to be given. A Saturday should never ever be an option. A lot of our members do not even live in Mount Vernon. So you're asking them to come from their day, whatever they're doing, even if they're laying back. That's their choice, because it's Saturday. Monday through Friday is voting time. So this was not proposed to us properly. And thank you for your time.
Thank you.
That concludes public comment.
Okay, we have one item on our agenda this evening. Oh,
That's okay.
yeah.
First of all, good evening, everyone. And I really want to thank you all for coming out and sharing your thoughts and concerns. And while I can't speak on behalf of the board, I will say this. I think what you are presenting this evening as a body puts the board and the administration in a very difficult position. Your dissent is not with the board, and it's not with the administration, it's within your ranks. And you have a means available to you through your regional office to address those discrepancies and that dissension. And to come and ask the board to effectively disenfranchise those who did vote on the MOA in the affirmative is, I believe, in my opinion, I believe that dishonors good faith negotiations, and the members that you elected, selected, or whatever your process may be, to serve on your negotiation committee. It ties their hands. I don't know what that process is. I have no idea. But I do know that these conversations have been ongoing for some time. And it was presented to the board and the administration, obviously, that this was what the association wanted. And we worked very diligently to try to make it happen based on that representation. So while this information is good to have in one regard, I think that your infighting needs to be reconciled internally. And to ask the board to solve that issue, which they have no authority or jurisdiction to do as a bargaining unit, puts them in a very compromised position. Now, ultimately, I don't know what the board will do or how they will act, if they will table this. I don't know what tabling it will do. I've never heard of a vote being redone. If it was done in earnest and it represented the bylaws of your organization, your negotiations, and your union. But I don't know that delaying the board votes next week, next month, next year, what will change? So I just needed to make those comments on behalf of the administration and say to you again that you should exercise what means are available through you, through the various associations that are designed specifically to mediate and resolve conflicts within your bargaining unit. That's it, Madam President.
Well said. I'd just like to say that I'm sorry that you have the internal dissension. This happens very often. But we were presented with the facts that, and with the documents that the MOA was executed, that was accepted. And we will, as far as I'm concerned, I will abide by the documentation we were given. So we're going to move on to I need a motion to approve Business Office 3.1, which is a memorandum of understanding with the Civil Service Employees Association. Do I have a motion?
I want to make a different motion.
Well, we need a motion to even talk about it. Do I have a motion? Second.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear who made the first motion.
Melissa.
Thank you.
Comments, questions?
We're all muffled with the mask, so. No, I would like to discuss it with the board council.
I'm sorry?
I would like to have a discussion in executive session with the board council about this item before we vote.
Okay, we'll do that. Does that mean that?
He needs to make a motion to enter into executive session.
I move to enter an executive session for the purpose of discussing this item with the board council.
All in favor?
So we're going to talk about this item and come back and then go back, or?
I think we should just talk about it.
Correct. My motion is just as to this.
Okay, all right. So, half an hour, I guess? Say it again? We don't have another room here.
No, there is.
So,
Everyone has to leave and then have to come back.
all right, we're going to need to adjourn publicly because we don't have another room big enough and prepared to socially distance in the room.
Sorry.
So if you would just, we'll call you back in. We probably will take about 30 minutes to deliberate on this.
All right, I'd like a motion to reconvene the meeting. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We still have it on tape.
No, you got to read it.
Okay. So we have Resolution 3.1, a memorandum of understanding with the Civil Service Employees Association that's up for a vote. So I'd first like a motion. I'd like a second. Okay, I'd just like to make a statement. I really appreciate what everyone is saying tonight, and I really think it's great that the board and the superintendent heard everything that you had to say. And I understand, I'm sympathetic to feeling that my voice is not heard. Because I feel a lot of people feel their voices were not heard by their leadership. And that's never a good thing. It's never a good thing to feel that way. But there's a couple of things I'd just like to point out and then maybe give you a little bit of advice going forward. Because remember, this is only, what the MOA is for is only 18-19. We are, in August, going to be starting negotiations for 19-20, right? And then 2021. So we know we're a little bit behind. These are difficult times, but the fact of the matter is 1819, that's the MOA. You are going to be going back, your negotiating team, who I'm assuming you empowered to negotiate on your behalf, will be coming back to the table in August. So my suggestion to you is that you make sure your voices are heard, not just here with us, because this is not our lane at all. This is not our responsibility. We want you to be happy. We want you to be happy employees, and we want you to feel represented. But that's the beat with your own leadership. So what I suggest you do is you go back and have your voices heard very strongly before your team comes back to the negotiating table for the 1920 contract year. All right, so we appreciate you expressing what you've expressed. It's very important for us to know and to hear it. But my suggestion is we got to move forward, and you've got 1920 in a month. So I'd like to take a vote. So all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain?
Aye, me.
You abstain?
Wanda.
You're abstaining?
I'm abstaining.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And you're abstaining? You're abstaining.
I have trustee Red is abstaining.
Yes.
And who's the other one?
Crump.
Trustee Crump.
And Wanda.
Yes, I have trustee White, trustee Red, and trustee Crump abstaining. Motion carries.
Motion carries. Okay, I'd like a motion to adjourn to executive session. We will not be coming out again for the purposes of
Contractual negotiations and receiving advice from legal counsel.
Pending litigation.
Oh, and pending litigation.
Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Second? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Okay, this concludes our public meeting for this evening. There will be no further action tonight. Thank you for all for coming.